Amanda here. You're watching Booked with Amanda, and I'm here to talk books with you. I'm back today with my wrap-up from April 28th to May the 4th, which also includes the first few days of the Asian Readathon. I will put my TBR video down below for that, and if you're participating, let me know below because I would love to see what everyone's reading this month. All right, let's get started. So first I read The Lightning Thief by Readathon, and I gave that a 4-star. Basically, Percy Jackson is like Harry Potter in the United States, add Greek mythology. Yeah, that's pretty much the premises. So the first book actually takes place where Percy is learning about who he is. He gets taken to Camp Half-Blood with other children who are demigods, and then he gets sent on a quest to basically prevent World War III from happening. So, it was okay. It was a good middle grade. I think I'm going to continue with the series, just see how it goes from there. I never saw the movie. I heard it's like terrible compared to the book, so I'm okay with that, but yeah, I'm just going to keep going and see how it is. I don't think it's the next Harry Potter for me, but it sounds like an interesting read, fun, easy, if I need to plow through something. Anyway, next I read hashtag I Mom So Hard, and that's by Kristen Hensley and Jen Smedley, and it's basically, I guess, like little essays from them, just going over mom life, life as a woman a little bit, how they met their husbands, a little bit about their birth stories, just kind of a little bit of everything personal to them. And I have watched their webisodes, clips, whatever you want to call them, on Facebook, and I fell in love with them years ago, and I think I just had my first at the time, and I've been watching them ever since. So when I saw this book came out, I had to grab it. I actually listened to the audiobook because I thought it would be similar to basically watching their Facebook episodes, and yeah, absolutely was, pretty much. So I highly recommend it if you're like mid-20s to like 40, mid-40s, 50s, you've had kids. I mean, you're going to relate to a lot of the things in here, I think. So anyway, next I read, let me grab that for you, Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. And this basically follows our little alien buddy here. He's sent to Earth to learn about humans. And he actually meets the flora and fauna of Earth first, and he assumes that they're humans for the longest time. But there's a lot in here, just kind of things that I personally didn't think too much about. There's a lot of cute quotes in here, and a lot of things that you can really think about, you know, how they affect you. So the first quote that I annotated here that I actually thought was adorable was, "Being small does not mean the same thing as being insignificant." And it's basically from his activity log, from his journey to learning about humans. I actually really love this. I gave it a 5-star. It's adorable. This is for my Asian Readathon challenge of read a graphic novel. So, one down already. I highly recommend it. It's really cute. Even if you don't buy it, if you just get it from your library or something, it's adorable. Next, I read Northanger Abbey, which is how you say it, Northanger, not Anger, by Jane Austen. This was actually for my Pop Sugar reading challenge for Read a Book Posthumously, and I believe I gave it a 3-star. So basically, it follows Catherine, who is kind of a little bit unconventional for her time. She's a little more of a tomboy. She doesn't really care about marrying for money. You know, she really just wants to meet someone she can be with, and she's obsessed with reading gothic novels, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, okay, I can relate to her a little bit. You know, it's hard to relate to someone 200 years ago. Anyway, so it's kind of like her coming of age story and her finding love, as I think is most Jane Austen novels. She meets, let me think, so I wrote some notes here. She meets Henry Tilney, and basically, she also meets young woman her age named Isabella, and Isabella ends up becoming like betrothed, engaged to her brother. And then Catherine, she's wanting to be with Henry, and then his family ends up inviting her to stay with them for a few weeks. She's told when she gets there automatically that she should stay out of these specific rooms, and then she's like, why? And then General Tilney, Henry's father, he's very gruff and unpersonable, and so she automatically assumes, based on her love of gothic novels, that he has either killed his wife or he has locked her up in those rooms. That's why she can't go in there. Anyway, I thought that part was hilarious. That really stuck out to me. But in the end, Isabella breaks up with Catherine's brother, and then, you know, Catherine gets thrown out of Tilney's home, and then, you know, it's a little confusing. I have notes, but I don't want to go through too much because I feel like I might give a lot away. But anyway, it's a big deal. And it's a little annoying for me at the end. I just did not like the ending. Like, I understand a little bit, but not really, because it's so old, right? It's hard to relate to something that was written 200 years ago because I don't have a lot in common with those women, those men, that generation. I mean, completely different, right? She's looking for a husband. She's 17. 17, I was finishing high school. You know what I mean? Like, it's strange. So it was a 3 for me. Classics I don't think are my thing. I might give a few more a chance, but I don't really think that I'm going to be giving those 5 stars anytime soon. So anyway, enough blabbering. Next book. I read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. Gave it a 4 star. It's cute. I'm a little old for it, I think, so it wasn't like perfect in my eyes. But basically, it's kind of like You've Got Mail meets coming of age, coming out story. Simon is corresponding by email with someone who goes to a school, but they're both anonymous. They don't know who each other are, and then they slowly fall for each other. And then bad things happen to Simon, unfortunately, but it ends up being a silver lining in the end and happy ending, yada yada, as usual. But, you know, it was cute. I gave it 4 because I think, like, it's great to have that book of diversity, having the queer element to it. I gave it a 4 star because I love You Got Mail. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. So absolutely, you're gonna make a book kind of like that? Cool, I'm down. And it was good. I also felt like the portrayal of high school students was a little bit more accurate in this. Like the way that some of the kids overreacted about things. You know, there was swearing in like appropriate places. It felt more accurate to a high schooler as opposed to some of the other books that, you know, there's no swearing and they have these huge 15-letter words that these kids are using. Like, that's not real life. It's just not. I've never met an eloquent high schooler that's in the masses. I mean, there's obviously eloquent high schoolers out there, but they're not the norm. You know what I mean? And anyway, I liked it. It was good. I don't think I'm gonna continue because there is the Leah on the Offbeat, which follows Simon's friend Leah, but I don't think I'm gonna read that one. Just because high school is just not my thing, right? All right, so that's what I read this past week. A decent week, not bad, not great, but not bad. I am in the middle of 2 books though. Currently reading for the Asian Readathon, Human Acts by Han Kang. I think in my TBR, I had a rough day when I did my TBR, so I think I actually said Han Kang was a man, like a male. I used the term he, but she is not a male. She's a Korean author. This was actually translated from Korean, so I think it has lost a little bit in translation. It's not that bad though. Like, I am actually enjoying it. It is much more than I thought it was. It's actually in regards to the Gwangju uprising in 1980, starting there, and the aftermath of that. So it's not just about a shooting like the cover says it is. It's very misleading. I wish the cover had been more accurate. So I'm actually really enjoying this, and I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. I haven't been reading a lot the last few days. I've been able to listen to audiobooks, but I haven't been able to read because I've just been tied up with my hands. So I'm hoping to actually sit down and physically read this weekend. Next, I'm also reading Game of Thrones because, gosh, I love this show so much. And I've been hoarding these books for years. I have, in my defense, I have been waiting for him to release the last book, or last 2 books. But like, that's never gonna happen. I think the last book that was released in this series, which I can't think of the name of off the top of my head, but it was released in 2011. So like, my assumption was by 2019, I would have the other books in my hands, but like, no dice. So anyway, I'm just gonna start it, and whatever happens, happens. If he never releases them, I mean, it could happen. But anyway, so far, I'm not that far in this, like 76 pages, but it is very dense. The line spacing is almost nothing, and the margins are teeny tiny, so I still have read a lot. It is a very dense, heavily detailed book, as I'm sure those who have read it know. So I'm just gonna make my way slowly. I'm not putting any kind of constraints on it. I know the general basis of the story, so it's not so bad. Anyway, that is basically it for today. That's all I've read, all I'm reading. And if you are participating in the Asian Readathon, let me know below so that I can check out your video, because I would love to see what you guys are reading for that. I feel like there's a lot of diversity out there that I'm not very familiar with, that I haven't read a lot of, so I'd love to get ideas for my TBR for when my book ban is over. Anyway, thanks for watching today, guys. Have a great day. Bye.